Chivosi, bring you another Hyundai A-League fixture review for the fixtures of Week 8. So the first game of the weekend saw Sydney FC draw with Wellington Phoenix in an uneventful 0-0 fixture. Both teams managed to hit the post in the game, but were unsuccessful in finding the back of the net. Alex Rodriguez hit the post for Wellington, while Alex Brosk hit the post late in the game for Sydney. So both Alexes both hitting the post. Ironic? I think so. Couldn't believe it. The only real talking point of the game was when Manny Muscat seemed to push Alex Brosk inside the box, but no penalty was given. Was it a desperate jump? Was it an actual foul? I don't know. You guys decide. The draw now sees Sydney FC winless in their last 4 fixtures. 4 fixtures without a win for Sydney. They were flying undefeated and now they are struggling. Well, that's what happens when you can't beat your rivals. Wellington managed to do well without Ben Sigmund, which was honestly to my surprise, as I keep bringing up every single week. Ben Sigmund with the clearances, smashing them, wasn't there. They still managed to keep a clean sheet, so that was very good for them. But the draw sees both teams pick up a point, but I know the result was not what both teams were after. The second game of the weekend saw Melbourne City FC beat Perth Glory 5-1 in an Aaron Moy masterclass. Alright, let's not call it the Melbourne City show. Let's call it the Aaron Moy show, because that is all that mattered on this game. Aaron Moy carried Melbourne City in another man of the match performance. Aaron Moy had a hand in 4 of Melbourne City's 5 goals. Thanks to Moy, goals from Pardew, Chapman and Fornaroli almost saw the host lead 3-0 at halftime, but Sydney managed to get one back for Perth Glory after heading in a corner. So, 3-1 at the break. Aaron Moy had his hand in 3 of the goals, but then he managed to get one for himself. But before that, Navillo scored one for City, and that was the only goal that Aaron Moy didn't have a hand in for City. So unfortunately, he didn't put a hand in all 5. But he did score late on when he managed to get a penalty and slow it home. So Aaron Moy adding to the score sheet, also just dominating. Aaron Moy is all I have to say. We won't name them Melbourne City FC anymore. We'll call them Aaron Moy Football Club, because that's what they are. But Ante Kovic, the old Perth Glory goalkeeper, used to play for Western Sydney Wanderers, had this to say about his side's performance. Obviously, he was goalkeeper, so he's struggling himself. But he has stated that Perth Glory had more holes than Swiss cheese. More holes than Swiss cheese. At the age you are at, and the amount of Swiss cheese you must be thinking about, you must be eating some. Why are you thinking about Swiss cheese? Come on, man. Seriously, you're a professional footballer. You've just conceded 5 goals, and all you're thinking about is Swiss cheese? Give me a break, man. But, maybe, if you're paying attention to the game, and you weren't thinking about Swiss cheese, you might not have conceded 5 goals. So, Ante Kovic, idiot. Absolutely, you've just made a fool of yourself, mate. But Aaron Moy dominated, and I do have a question for you guys, so make sure you leave your answer in the comment section below. And my question is, do you guys think Aaron Moy will stay at City after this season, or do you think Aaron Moy will get the move abroad that he is deserving? In my opinion, Aaron Moy should be playing in Europe. Whether he's playing, he might not be available for the Prem. I know Melbourne City is an affiliate of Manchester City. Maybe he gets to jump straight to Manchester City, but maybe not. Maybe he goes to the Championship. Maybe he goes to Italy, Spain, France, Germany, whatever. He is too good for the A-League, and I'm admitting that right now. The third game of the weekend saw Newcastle Jets draw 1-1 with the Brisbane Roar. David Carney came close for Newcastle when he hit the bar in the 13th minute after thundering an absolute strike. It was ridiculous. Petratos hit the crossbar a few minutes later as well, but he couldn't break the deadlock. A very attacking game saw it 0-0 at halftime, but it didn't stay that way for long. Jamie McLaren slotted home for Brisbane in the 52nd minute, adding to his tally for the season. Jamie McLaren almost added a second late on after making a 25-yard run one-on-one with Birighetti, but Birighetti stepped up and saved the shot, which kept Newcastle in the game. Kantarovski equaled for Newcastle in the 71st minute by scoring from close range. Kantarovski, the 23-year-old, really proving some worth down there at Newcastle. He's doing quite well. But both teams will be happy with the point, which continues their impressive starts to the season. The fourth game of the weekend saw my team, Melbourne Victory Football Club, beat Adelaide United 2-1 in an impressive performance. Goals from Bessart Brisha and Oliver Bozanic were enough to make the difference, but Karuska managed to grab one late on after a terrible challenge from Kostas Barbarousis. I have already reviewed this game. It is on my channel, and I will leave a link down in the description below so you can watch that video. It will have my full review of the game. And then the final game of the weekend saw Western Sydney Wanderers beat Central Coast Mariners 2-0. The win sees Western Sydney win their fifth consecutive game in a row. 5 for Western Sydney, which has seen them go from bottom of the table to joint top in just 5 weeks. Western Sydney, you are putting on a show. You're doing very well. Sanslab scored the first for Western Sydney Wanderers in the 66th minute when Mitch Nichols split the defence, then the ball found Sanslab, who managed to slot it home past Izzo into the back of the net. But then Nichols added one late, and he scored for himself in injury time after scuffing a shot, which once again beat Izzo. So Izzo not having the best day at the office, but he's having a better time because he's not thinking about Swiss cheese like Ante Kovic. But Central Coast now haven't won. They're winless in 7 fixtures. Central Coast, what is going on? You started off quite well. I criticised you. I then took it back. I'll tell you what. Maybe I shouldn't have taken it back because you have been performing absolutely terrible. And at the moment, I don't see you guys getting any higher on the table, especially if you're going to continue to play how you are. But Central Coast obviously started strong. They're really struggling now. It's vice versa for Western Sydney Wanderers, who started poorly but are now joint top of the table. So a complete turnaround for both clubs. Western Sydney Wanderers really showing why they did win the Asian Champions League, which has now just been won by Guangzhou Evergrande. So shout out to them for becoming the new Asian champions. The Asian champions, yeah. But it is time now to look at our ladder and see where things stand. So as you can see, Melbourne Victory top the table after playing 7 games. They've lost 1. They have 16 points with a 7 positive goal difference. Western Sydney are joint top on 16 points, but obviously Melbourne Victory do have a game in hand. Brisbane Roar sit in 3rd. They've dropped spots, still on 15 points though. They're doing quite well. They are still in reach, 1 point off the top. Sydney FC, 4th place, dropping from the top where they were just a few weeks ago. Now, on 13 points. Newcastle Jets on 12 points, so they are still doing a lot better than last season. Can't complain about that. Melbourne City finally climbing up the table in 6th position on 11 points now. Aaron Moy, you are a saviour. Wellington Phoenix dropped down the table now, down to 7th. Unfortunate for them, but you know, they did manage to pick up a point still. But as you can see, they have a -1 goal difference, so they do need to work on that. But on 11 points, it's good. But then a 6-point gap between 7th and 8th. So at the moment, it looks like the bottom 3 aren't going to make the final 6 where they get into the final series. It looks like it's going to be, obviously, Wellington Phoenix still in there. They're on equal points with Melbourne City. But Central Coast, 6 points off 7th. It's terrible. Central Coast struggling. As I said, they have not won in 7. Perth Glory also struggling now, only on 4 points. They still have a game in hand, which is against Melbourne Victory, so I can see them losing that as well. That's not good for them. And Adelaide United, once again, still winless on the bottom of the table. Adelaide United, you need to turn things around. You're a force under Josip Gombau, and now you're bottom of the table. That is disappointing. But the A-League top goal scorers, we have 2 people on top of the goal scoring charts. And that is Bruno Fornaroli and Bessart Barisha both on 6. But don't forget, Barisha does have the game in hand against Perthroy. He could score there. That will be later on in this month. Mitch Nichols, Trifunovic, and Barallo all sit on 4. Now assists. Aaron Moy on 5. David Carney on 3. So Aaron Moy showing why he's the playmaker of the league so far. Alex Gerbish already on 2. The youngster doing well. Most saves now. Birighetti tops it at 31. Sorensen slowly edging closer. Ante Kovic on 3rd. If you stop thinking about Swiss cheese, you might be at the top, mate. But completed passes now. Brisbane Raw top at 552 from Garcia Perez. Sanchez, Delgado, McGowan, and Mayorel all there as well. But then, most clearances, surely Ben Sigmund still sits on the top with 43. Connor Chapman and Lee Broxham, and also Matthew Germain slowly catching up. Now you see a Manny Muscat on 28. 2 Wellington Phoenix players there. But top goal scorer goes to Bruno Fernaroli and Bessart Barisha. But that has been my Hyundai A-League fixture review for Week 8. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the football. If you did, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to see some more Hyundai A-League content, and I'll catch you guys on another video.